Hi, I'm Casey Deary, and I'm going to talk to you about proper body position and proper use of your hands and feet here. So, for starters, there's really 4 places that I have to use to get my horse properly broke. I need to make sure that he knows to stay off my left rein and to stay off my right rein and to stay off my left foot and off my right foot. So, in order to teach the cues there through the whole process, I want to make sure that if I lay this bridle rein, that shoulder moves away from it. Same thing off of this bridle rein, that shoulder moves away from it. If I need to make this horse move his ribs or shoulders, I ride with a shorter stirrup because I want to make sure that my spur is always facing down. I want to know that if I put a spur on a horse, it's because I expected it and wanted it to be there. Never because my stirrups are so long that my toes are pointing down and my spurs are only there to help me hang on. So I want to make sure that if I close this calf against this horse, if he doesn't move, I can use that spur to enforce it and then back it out. So if my stirrups are at a proper length or a shorter length, then I know that I can enforce this calf, get him to move off that calf without my spur ever touching. I want to also make sure that my body stays upright in a balanced position for this horse. If I'm always riding off to one side, or if I'm always riding up over the top of him, this horse is carrying that weight in an unbalanced place through that saddle, and I'm going to increase my likelihood of making that horse sore. Same thing if I go back too far. So where I sit is going to help protect this horse from any injuries or soreness in the future. I also want to make sure here, while I'm guiding around, if I ever feel like that horse is dropping his shoulder or dropping his rib cage, I want to know where that's coming from. Not necessarily why he's dropping it, but what part is actually dropping. A horse can drop his shoulder when his nose comes to the outside and he leans to the inside. So in a situation where, excuse me, where he leans his shoulder to the inside, I'm going to ride forward. I'm going to pick my hands up and ride him forward until his shoulders come up. If I roll this horse here or come across his neck like this to get that to stand up, a lot of times I get the reaction of that horse rolling his rib cage. It's not necessarily the point of his shoulder, but his rib cage at me. Anytime I go across this horse's neck, I always leave his rib and his hip to the inside. So it's very important, if I have a horse that leans in or out, that I come up and forward to make that horse, to make this horse stand up and move straight ahead. So again, if my horse is dropping his shoulder here, then I'm going to ride forward and make his shoulders come up. Not in or out, but up. As his shoulders come up, his hind end can move forward and it allows me to have more power there. Again, if I come across his neck here, he can still dive to the inside and his rib cage and his hip can roll to the inside, causing the same sensation of him leaning his shoulder. So, generally speaking, most of the time, forward will fix most of your body position problems.